What is going on, everybody? My name is Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty3. Today we're going to be going through our Minecraft Cricket Stadium build. We got a massive time lapse of stuff to get through today. This is about, maybe 5 hours worth of work piled into a 8-minute video. So it is a lot of stuff happening very, very quickly. The first thing you'll see put together is our scoreboard. We spent a lot of time building all of our banners, so we had letters to put on our scoreboard. Our scoreboard is a giant sort of sized scoreboard. We wanted to make sure it was looking particularly fancy and making sure that everything on it was, looking good. We wanted to make sure we had enough on it that we thought made sense. Wanted to have enough sense of the things that we had on the scoreboard. We spent a lot of time in the loom putting together all of these letters and stuff to sort of work out a batting card that we could put on there and really just find a way to have it presented in a quite nice fashion. So the scoreboard was one of the big things we wanted to put in, and we wanted to make it look sort of like an old-fashioned scoreboard rather than a digital scoreboard. So you'll see sort of the back of it being worked on a little bit after that, after we put together the front and the main part of it as well, because obviously in these old style scoreboards you've got people working inside of them, so we wanted to have enough room so that we could potentially have people working inside of them, like not really, but just in a way that it would look like people would work in there. So we've put together a little total, little story here. Australia versus England is what we put on there. Smith's on 100. Wanted to make it somewhat realistic, of course, and then put together some numbers, chucked those on, made sure there was enough numbers so that we could have things going, and that scoreboard is pretty much done. That was pretty much the scoreboard that we put together pretty quick smart. Then we move over to stream number 2, which is arguably the biggest amount of work that has been done on this sort of stadium by a number of people. It equivalates to about 12 hours worth of work, because we had about 4 people on for around about 3 hours each, or thereabouts. So it was a long period of time, a long period of building that we're able to put things together on here. So this is what I was talking about, building the back of that scoreboard up in a way that we could then potentially build it so that people could work inside of it. So that was sort of the priority here of getting that done. Then this is going at like a super quick rate because we've got a lot to get through. So the first thing is, of course, building the back end of that scoreboard. Then we basically work on the lighting and a lot of the other pre-existing sort of stands, working around the lighting. I'm putting up some light towers as well, some good floodlight towers, of course. And then we demolished my stand, which took me ages to build because it was absolute garbage. The brick one, you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen the previous videos, you know what I'm talking about. So that's now been demolished. There's been a new sort of section put up there that you'll see later on in the video, where I give you a little bit more of an in-depth tour in a slower bit of motion, so we can actually see kind of what's going on, because at the moment there's just a lot of stuff happening on the screen as I'm putting these towers together, and we're sort of looking at what else needs to be done. This next section I've got is sort of a little pool deck / corporate dining area. Obviously we've got a pool in there. We put some tables and chairs down there on a little elevated section, little elevated corner of the ground near the scoreboard, so that your high-paying customers can come and sit there and watch the cricket and enjoy and really go about their day in the best way possible. So that's what we did here, was we put all that together. Then we work on a big sort of media center, very, very similar to Lord's, where we basically styled it on the Lord's one and wanted to make it look as close to the Lord's media pod as possible, so that it looked really, really cool. And you'll see that in just a sec. We get started on that, which really just escalates very quickly and builds up in quite a quick fashion from nothing into something. So right now we're still going around doing a little bit of lighting, and here is where we just throw up this media pod, the opposite end of the scoreboard, which unfortunately the scoreboard doesn't render when you're more than like halfway down the pitch, so you won't even be able to see the scoreboard from where the media center is, which is a bit of a bummer. But basically we put this together really quick. As you can see, it's got that distinct sort of tic-tac shape that the Lord's sort of pod has. We have it sort of curving around the back as well, which is something we work on a little bit later on to get that all together. But it came together really quickly and it looked really good. The media center that we've put together here, there are a few things maybe that we could have done a little bit different. Maybe with me building the staircase up there right in the middle of some tables and chairs is maybe not the wisest thing to do, but otherwise I thought it looked pretty good at the end once it all got finished and put together, and we fixed up the back because it looked a little gross at the start, but we made it look a little bit more smooth and things like that. So we're not too far from going to an actual tour, so you're not just seeing absolute chaos on your screen right now as everything being built is just being put together. I really needed like a second account to have like a camera angle look at all this stuff that's been put together. But I like to show a bit of the building process, of course. So for those who were obviously watching it on stream last night, you would have seen that that all been put together as we really made some progress on this. As I was saying, like really the only things for us to work on now are sort of the interior stuff and the underground stuff, you know, working on change rooms and things like that, because as we look around now, as you can see, we've got our big media pod, which looks absolutely superb from both ground level and in the air. We've got our brand new stand over on the southern side of the ground. Or is it the eastern side of the ground? The eastern side of the ground, maybe, is where that... Or is it the western side? Where does the sun set? The west. Maybe it's on the western side of the ground. The scoreboard on the southern side. Oh, maybe I've done this in the wrong way in terms of angling things. But yeah, it looks all really nice. We've got our pavilion there, which is probably the only thing that we might like think about adjusting or redoing. We've got, you know, sort of the seating that goes all the way across to the scoreboard. We've got nothing sort of on that scoreboard, so we can turn it into a giant sight screen if we really want to down the ground level there. And then of course, you've got a little corporate pool deck and dining area that people can go sit and chill at. And then we've got our giant ass media pod at the back here, which looks really cool as well. So it was a lot of work to get it to this point, but it's looking really, really sharp. You can see the scoreboard as it renders in, and even the back of the scoreboard. We want to be able to get in there and maybe do some work on that. But I think this is probably the best it's looked. Well, obviously it's easily the best it's looked. We'll be working on a little bit more of it as time goes on. But if you enjoyed today's video and you enjoy what you see in this stadium, make sure you leave a big thumbs up down in the comment section below. That's not how it works, Dino. You leave a thumbs up on the video, and you can leave a comment down in the comment section below, because we're going to be adding change rooms and things underneath the ground. Let us know what you want to see added, and until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.